One of the other potential benefits of fiber is in weight control. Fiber, because of the bulk it provides, helps with our satiety or feeling a fullness after a meal. As a result, many people will ingest fewer calories, and that may have an impact on their weight. The soluble fiber, which is one very important source of fiber that we get through fruits, vegetables, that is the type of fiber that is really associated with some very significant, important beneficial factors. One is the impact that it has on diabetes and control or regulation of sugar in our system. The other is the impact that it has on cholesterol within our system. That cholesterol is bound by certain types of fibers, and it helps to lower our cholesterol and our LDL levels. While not absolutely proven, there may be some beneficial effects to the use of fiber to prevent colon cancer. The studies here are imperfect, but certainly the benefits to the colon are real.
What did you think about the video?
I thought it was very good and informative, gave me a lot of information, but some of it I knew and some of it was new to me, but I like it.
That's good. So for our next kind of discussion, interaction, we're just going to kind of try to guess the fiber content of a serving of these two plant foods.
Okay.
So on the left we have green peas, and the right raspberries, and these are fresh. So I would like you to try and guess the answer of how many grams of fiber you think are in the peas on a scale of 1 to 10.
10 being the highest.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 7.
All right. 7 grams for the peas. How many for the raspberries?
I would say
3? All right. That's actually a good way of doing it. Like this one is higher and this one is lower.
3.
They're both actually the two highest forms of plant foods that I could find per serving as far as fiber.
That's amazing.
So peas have 9 grams of fiber and raspberries have 8 grams of fiber per serving. And fruits and vegetables, a serving most of the time is a half a cup if you're eating them loose. Like if it's not an apple or orange, that's a big piece.
Yeah.
So something like this would be a half a cup serving. So that's about what you would get from consuming them per serving. Yes. So how does fiber help us? As we saw in the video, he mentioned a lot about digestion and some disease prevention, satiety, feeling full. Cholesterol is one of them. He did mention soluble fiber. That's one of the benefits of soluble fibers that does actually help lower cholesterol.
Yeah.
But that's a mechanism that we are not going to cover today. Any questions about how fiber helps us? So I just wanted to emphasize that although there are these processed foods that may have fiber added or natural, the dates would probably be the best source of fiber.
Yeah.
But as we saw in the previous slide about the raspberries and the peas, fresh whole foods would probably be the best form to get your fiber from, just as an added tip. So I guess I'm just reiterating, where is fiber found? In fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lentils, and nuts. Let's see. So we're actually going to do a activity or discussion again on some of the foods that I have up here. And I'm actually just going to hold up two of them and ask you to choose which one you think has the highest fiber or the lowest fiber content. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Alright. So I'm gonna start, since I have these big bulky bags, I'm gonna start with these two.
Okay.
Do you think the bulk wheat flour or the all-purpose flour has more fiber or less? We're gonna say low. Which one is lower?
Flour is lower.
Yes, that's correct. And then we have chocolate peanut butter Cheerios and Goldfish. Which one do you think would have lower fiber?
Cheerios.
It's actually Goldfish.
The goldfish? Okay.
Goldfish are actually just bread crackers flavored with cheese, and Cheerios actually tend to have a little more enriched fiber,
Okay.
and these specifically have some whole grains added in, so it's kind of like whole grain wheat or whole grain oats that helps in adding fiber in the diet. So these are just two random snack foods you may know. Oatmeal cream pies and Jell-O. Which one do you think has more fiber?
Oatmeal cream pie.
Yes. That is correct. And this is going to be a little bit of a tricky one. But we have Swiss Miss hot chocolate and sipping chocolate. And this is Trader Joe's sipping chocolate. So which one do you think has more fiber? Let's say more.
Okay, we'll say Trader Joe's.
Yes, it does. And that's mainly because of the cocoa content,
Yeah.
cocoa powder.
Yeah.
So it helps in having fiber because cocoa comes from plants. So I don't have another comparison, but of course we have crunchy peanut butter or creamy. Which one do you think would have more fiber?
Crunchy.
Yes. Crunchy would, because it actually uses the real peanuts. Some of the regular peanut butters would actually have some added fats, so it would take away from some of the fiber that could potentially be in it. Like if it was the natural peanut butter, it would have more,
Right.
but if it's a little more processed, then it wouldn't. So this is an interesting one too. We have organic coconut milk or we have Kool-Aid. Which one do you think has more fiber? Yes, that's correct. And I like this one. This one's my favorite. Which oatmeal do you think has more fiber? So we have the Quaker's instant packets that are flavored, or we have steel cut oats.
Still cut oats.
Yes. And why would steel cut oats have more fiber, do you think?
I think it's because it's less processed than the other one that's got
Yes.
added sugar and other stuff
Mm-hmm.
and more fillers. I actually have tried still cut oats and compared it with regular oatmeal, and I prefer that one because it doesn't like when I eat regular oatmeal, it actually causes my stomach to cramp, so I stop eating it and I can eat still cut oats and it's fine.
Awesome.
So my tummy always tells me it's more processed.
Yes, the steel cut oats are definitely less processed. They're probably as whole as you could get for oatmeal.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too.
And then two other ones. We have organic angel hair or Thai rice noodles. Which do you think would have more fiber?
I would say, honestly, that one's kind of tough. I would say the Thai rice noodles.
It's actually the angel hair.
Really?
I
it
guess
because
maybe it's
rice?
because it's organic. Maybe it has some whole grains from the wheat. Maybe it has whole grain wheat in it, and it helps with added fiber.
I was thinking the rice.
The rice could be made from like white rice,
Oh,
so
that's
therefore
true.
white rice basically doesn't have any fiber. Yes.
White rice is like air.
Yes. And then we have Kellogg's Special K protein bars or peanut butter filled pretzel pillows. Which one do you think has more fiber?
So that one is what type of bars? Is that chocolate?
Protein, chocolate, peanut butter.
I would say that.
Yes. It does. And this is a fun one. I like this one too. Which one? There's whole dates without the pit, and there's dried cherries. Which do you think has more fiber per serving?
I would say cherries.
Well,
No, it's the dates.
it's actually the dates. Actually, each date has 2 grams of fiber,
Yeah.
and one serving of cherries only has 1 gram.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see. Good.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good day.
So what do you think about our activity on fiber? Did you enjoy it? Was
Yeah, I
it
did.
informative?
It's very informative, because
Awesome.
I made some assumptions and I was clearly wrong. Okay.
Well, it's
cool.
always great to learn, especially
Mhm.
being willing to gain more knowledge about nutrition, because it's a growing field, and so there's always more to learn.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about added sugar and we talked about fiber.
Right.
So on the slide, I do have an added sugar activity that I wanted to do, but it's just going to be really quick. But I just wanted to say here, emphasize fruits and vegetables as the main source of fiber and the main source of replacing added sugar and processed foods in the diet. Let's see. I'm just going to talk about added sugar. So most of these foods would probably have some added sugar, and some of the foods that you may not be aware of that have added sugar also, and this is mainly due to processing, would be something like tomato sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce.
So our sauces and
Yes.
marinades. Okay.
Usually have some added sugar to add flavor and appeal even, because of course, like previously mentioned, sugar has a lot of addictive properties, and
What
so
you getting at?
companies like to sometimes use that to their advantage,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah, that
to
sucks.
get you interested in eating their foods.
Yeah.
Um,
Are there any meats that have sugar added to them too? Like I know
some of
meats-
them, some meats will be though the processed meats like
Yeah, sandwich.
Hillshire sausage, I know
Really
does.
sandwiches?
Sometimes,
Not all.
yes, not all of them. Some more so ones. I guess the ones that have a lot of additives and fillers would be the ones that have some additional flavoring, so it's more appealing because it's actually a processed meat form.
Sounds really gross.
So they process it to make it taste better and add some sugar for your liking. Yes. But foods like chicken, beef, ground pork, ground any of those.
Turkey.
Yes. And if they're whole muscle meat, like they haven't been processed at all, most of the time would not have any added sugar. It'd be if they made their own patty and served it up to you, they probably added some salt, but I don't know if they would add sugar. It depends on if they added fillers, like maybe in meatballs, they'd add bread
Yeah.
and such that. So what is blood sugar? It's basically how the body responds to the digestion of carbohydrates. So it's basically absorbing carbs into the blood. That's basically what carbs and sugar into the blood. So that's what blood sugar entails. So most of the time, fiber and added sugar go hand in hand in a way. Like fiber can help with added sugar if you eat